I'm Jennifer Angel. This is my weekly message. Okay, 2 planets retrograde this week, which I think I mentioned every single star sign. So, as always, I do repeat some information here. But let's talk about Mercury. Mercury is retrograde. It's in the sign of Pisces. So, it's going to ignite your intuitive thoughts and just for some of you, it will just send you on a little bit of a cloud nine idealistic pattern of thinking of what's real and what's not real. And this is what you need to work out are your expectations of what can be achieved in life realistic or unrealistic? But then, you know, what is the difference between that? I mean, if everything does start from a thought, then is there anything unrealistic? And is it really just our own limitations that we put on our thoughts that hold us back? So, food for thought. Okay, let's talk about the retrograde movement. Mercury goes retrograde about 3 times a year for about 3 months, 3 weeks a year, rather. So leading up to the retrograde period, it's always the most unsettling. So, we've got like before the planet is stationary. So in this case here, Mercury is going to be stationary on the 23rd, and then it goes retrograde on the 24th. So in 3 weeks' time, it'll be stationary, and then it will go direct. So when it's turning, like as my friend Eric Francis, colleague astrologer who is with planetwaves.net, very worthwhile a visit to Eric's site, and also to tune into his FM radio postings as well. So as Eric explains it, as you're going along, so you're going along in a ferry or a boat, and the boat goes to turn. So there's a point there where it's becomes stationary, and coming up to the turn is when all the waters are like chaotic and swirling around. That's what's called the storm. So that's like the unsettling period. Then it's stationary and it turns. So the other side of the stationary is also all frantic with the waters, and that's also called the storm on the other side. Then it settles down and it goes forward or backward, whatever, transits it's coming in or out of on the stationary transit. And it settles down for a while. Then, of course, we go through the other end, which is the shadow time, where it goes through. It takes a while to catch up to the degree that it started at before it went retrograde. Okay, and we'll talk about that more when we get to that point in about 3 weeks' time. So the whole Mercury retrograde can be quite disruptive. Okay, now what does it mean? Mercury is the planet of communication. Now, so anything to do with communication, which is planes, trains, automobiles, where you're traveling, and anything to do with communication as in electronics, computers, phones, computers, phones, any electronic devices, all come under this banner. Also media, communicating with media and publishing, all come under this banner. So first of all, if we just look at the ground level of it, double check your work on the computer. Okay, double check your emails. Don't send things out without giving it another look through or having it edited. Mistakes can easily be overlooked. If you're traveling, you want to double check all travel arrangements. Even if you're meeting somebody, you want to double check the, where you're meeting them, so your arrangements. Not a great time to sign any contracts. If it's unavoidable, make sure you ask all the questions that come to mind, and you check the fine print and the fine print. Get someone else to have a look at it as well, okay? So Bottom line, mix-ups can happen with a Mercury retrograde phase, but right now, because it's in Pisces, you can rely on your intuition. So, as I said earlier, if you feel, or I might have said it to Pisces, if you think or feel or intuitively or instinctively or your gut feel, whatever you want to call that, sixth sense, says to you something's not right, there's a good chance it isn't, even if all the facts and figures say that it is. Okay, so pay attention to your intuition and follow through on that level. The other planet going retrograde this week is Saturn. So Saturn builds up structures. It's retrograde for a number of months, about 4 months, 4 or 5 months, and during this time it's going to just give you the opportunity to check your foundations of life in overall, depending on what area of life that it relates to, and just make sure that you have solid foundations. And if you don't, then whether it's in your home, family, money, friends, business, whatever area that it's in, gives you an opportunity to make changes and to set your foundations more solid in that area of your life. Okay. All right, have a great week, everybody. As always, thank you so much for following my work. I appreciate all your notes. Please send me, notes and messages and feedback. I love to get that now that I'm moved and settled in. Then, I have a little more time to answer them. Love and luck to everybody. Have a great week. I'm Jennifer Angel. Bye for now.